For about 2 years, I've had this shed as a dedicated space for my workshop. And in that time, I've done almost nothing in terms of shop organization. I've been working out of buckets and boxes and stacks upon stacks of stuff. Today I'm going to create a French cleat wall and a simple wood storage solution. I started with the French cleat wall. I drew lines where I wanted the cleats to go and how far apart I should space them. I also marked where the studs were for easy reference later. Once I knew where the cleats were going, I set my table saw blade to 45 and cut strips. I had to cut 8 strips due to the length of the wall I was adding the cleats to. I marked the stud locations on 2 of the cleats and used them as a template for the others. This is my first time with a French cleat wall, so I just made up the spacing. I have no idea if this is going to be too far or not. Once the holes were drilled, I started screws in them to make it easier when installing on the wall. Then I just screwed them on the wall at the lines I created earlier. I was super precise with my eyeballing, so I know everything was dead straight. Which is strange that I used a level on the second row. At this point, the cleat wall was done. However, I had this section in the corner of the shop that I've been placing scraps. Given the organizational mood that I was in, I decided to slap together something basic to hold my offcuts. I cut 2x4s to 21 inches so I could make shelves in a square tower going from floor to ceiling. I then measured where I wanted the shelves on the 2x4s. I started the first shelf about 50 inches off the ground. This was to account for a 4-foot sheet of plywood. I then transferred those marks to the other 3 2x4s. Once everything was laid out, I pre-drilled where the shelf supports went. I used a clamp to hold the supports in the correct place while I drove 3-inch screws. I continued that process for 2 sides. I cut the remaining shelf supports to size and attached them to one of the already built sides. I laid that one on the ground and placed the second one on top to complete the tower. Raising this masterfully constructed tower and putting it in place was surprisingly difficult, mainly because I decided to make the tower as tall as possible, so it was hitting the rafters as I was tilting it into place. The walls and floor were clearly not straight, which caused the tower to rock. So I anchored it to the walls. At this point, the project was done. However, something didn't seem right. I didn't think of storing long pieces of wood. So, as an extra feature, I decided to make some brackets the same height as the top shelf of the tower. This posed a problem on the cleat wall. The top cleat was getting in the way of a bracket being connected directly to the wall. This is one of the joys of designing on the fly. To solve this, I simply added a cleat on the back of the bracket and attached it as if it was going directly onto the wall. I made sure to put a screw through the bracket and the cleat on the wall so they were connected. I added 2 more brackets to put on the back wall of the shop. Now I was able to load it up with all my scraps. The cleat wall doesn't have anything on it yet, as I'm still trying to sort out all the buckets and boxes and stacks. I'll probably make another video on what I put on the cleat wall. Let me know if that's something you would be interested in. I know this wasn't the most innovative project, but it does show that you don't need a fully thought out plan to make something that fills a need. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one.